issues.
It's Personal Finance Wednesday. A mid-year financial review can reveal hidden issues and sharpen your goals for a stronger second half of the year. We welcome in Craig Bolanos, founder and wealth advisor, VestGen Wealth Partners in Inverness and Downers Grove. Find him online at getretiredstayretired.com. Craig, thank you for joining us today. And it's hard to believe that the end of the second quarter will arrive on the 30th of this month, and that means the year is 50% done. I feel like I was ringing in the new year just 5 minutes ago, but here we are approaching the midway point of 2025, and a good time as any, Craig, to kind of take a stock of your finances, not only where you are in the equities market, but just the state of your spending and saving goals.
Everybody needs their own state of the union. You do one at the beginning of the year, you do one at the midpoint of the year, and action item number one is this. If people have not yet, it is time to review your budget. At the halfway point of the year, I want you to go back and say, have you been a good steward? Have I been a good steward of my income relative to my spending? That's needs and wants. That's where it all starts, Rob. And then when we're done with the budget, we move on to assessing the progress towards our savings goals.
And then when it comes to taking a look at your portfolio, this has certainly been a turbulent first half of the year. And what are some things you could do just to take stock of what you got, no pun intended, just to make sure that you're keeping up with just the changes in the market this year?
Rob, take stock of what you got. That's why this is the best noon business hour on the market. Listen, everybody, you heard it from Rob. We are back to even for the year. Yes, the S&P 500 is back to even for the year. So the message that each of us have is, knowing everything that we know now, what would you do different, if anything, because market forces are back to where they were January 1st. Let that be your guiding principle. If you have too much risk in your portfolio, let that be your principle if you're underinvested. But let's take advantage of the fact that we have a second chance to do the right thing that's unique for each of us with our investments.
Well, this also seems like a good lesson this year about the power of fear and not giving into it, because there was a lot of discussion, people joking about getting out of the market in early April. But if you really, truly did get out of the market or pull back in early April when that tariff announcement came, you cost yourself a decent chunk of change in the last 2 months.
Rob, and that's why we argue at VestGen that it's a systematic, repeatable process that leads to results that are TNT, tested in the trenches. And that means for all of us, just as Rob said, our listening audience, let's start making our decisions based on data and not making our decisions based on sentiment, because how we feel changes quickly, but it's data that's a more reliable, driven strategy for all of us to have long-term perspective and be better investors.
And even though the IRS tax deadline passed not too long ago, part of that financial review should probably include looking ahead to next April, or at the very least next January, when the filing period begins.
That's exactly right. You know, when you did your taxes this spring, did you find out that you were over withheld, or maybe you were under withheld? Maybe your tax preparer recommended that you might need to adjust your withholding. That's your W-4. Maybe your tax preparer reminded you that you need to make quarterly estimates. Reminder, everybody, June 16th, 12 days from today, is the second quarter estimate. So let's use this mid-year review as an opportunity to make sure we're properly withheld so we have no surprises on our 2025 tax return come spring of 2026.
Craig Bolanos, co-founder and wealth advisor, VestGen Wealth Partners in Inverness and Downers Grove. Find him online at getretiredstayretired.com. Join us at